What's up, trainers? Katie Barrett, ShowUp Fitness online instructor. I teach programming every Wednesday at 12 p.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Central, 3 p.m. Eastern Time. If you have not sat in on my class and you are a trainer and you are struggling with programming or you don't know how to program, shoot me a DM on Instagram, abovethebar.fitness, and we will get you set up in class. All right. So if you know anything about our programming, we are focusing for the general population 3 days per week, focusing on full body workouts. But every so often you may have a client who wants to train 4 times per week. So in this scenario, we would make a 4-day split, okay? What a 4-day split, our goal is training each muscle group 2 times per week, and the core patterns make this very easy to figure out. So if you're unfamiliar with our core patterns, we have 8 core patterns of movement that we program on: squat, hinge, unilateral, vertical push, vertical pull, horizontal push, horizontal pull, and transitional/jumps. You will learn this, you need to know this for our ShowUp Fitness Certified Personal Trainer exam that you can take, sign up for, become a confident personal trainer by learning our way of programming and our way of teaching you the core patterns of movement in order to make this programming super easy. But you can ask me about that when you send me a message on Instagram. So for our upper lower 4-day week training program, we're going to base this off of a female client who has goals of growing her glutes or lower body. But for day 1, we would do a lower body and cardio focus. Okay, of course, prioritizing the lower body so that we can prioritize force production. Day 2, which will be in my next video, we'll go over an upper body push-pull. All right, so we're training the pecs, we're training the triceps, the biceps, lats, all those things. Day 3, we would do another lower body plus cardio, and I'll show you how to take this template and easily switch it so that day 2 is not the same, but we're training the same core patterns. Day 4 would be an upper body push-pull, just like day 2. So really, let's break this down. All right, so here's day 1 example with variations of the exercises. So you wouldn't program all of these, but I'm giving you options here so that you can see how easy it is to program. It doesn't have to be stressful. And we are going to teach you how to do this so that you could do it off the top of your head. Say there was a really packed gym and you had to change your program. We're going to show you how to do this off the top of your head, okay? This program took me about 10, maybe a little bit less than 10 minutes to write, also based on the variations that I have here. So we would start out with jumps, which is one of our core patterns. However, we're only going to do about 10 because we know that if we program more than 10 jumps, we're compromising force production. If you watch someone jump 20 times, their first rep is not going to look anything like their 20th rep, and that's because the more that we're jumping, the less force we're producing, the more reps we have programmed. So let's start with jumps just to get that nervous system fired up, to get it prepared for what we're actually going to do in the squats. Okay, so we're going to program 10 jumps. These can be just regular jumps from the ground, no Tinkerbell jumps. We're not jumping like this, okay? We're loading behind and we're trying to touch the ceiling, producing maximum force each jump, all right? You could also change that for day 2 with some lateral jumping, maybe even some box jumps if that's appropriate for your client, okay? Not everybody can do box jumps, so we would want to make sure that this is appropriate for the client that you're training. All right, so that's a core pattern. We're going to go into the second core pattern, all right? So we're going to go into squats. So I'm doing the most regressed version into a progressed version. So I have body weight squats, goblet squats. You could shoulder load dumbbell squats here. If your client knows how to back squat, you can do a barbell back squat. You could also do a heels elevated squat to emphasize more quad. One note that I want to say about squats is that if you don't own that movement pattern as a trainer, you have to own that movement pattern before you can program it for your client. So as a personal trainer, I do not program anything for my clients that I cannot do myself. So if I can't do a push-up, I'm not going to program that for my clients until I can demonstrate it, until I can do it. So if that's a weakness of yours, start working on it. As a trainer, you need to know how to do pretty much everything, all right? I'd never ask my clients to do something I can't do. Then we're going to go into our accessory, if you know our CCA, core pattern, accessory, all right? So go with a plank of any kind with trainer engagement. So if you want to do a high plank, if you want to do a low plank, if you want to do a feet elevated plank, just having to figure out what's appropriate for your client, okay? So now, since you are familiar with our CCA, normally for our 3-day-a-week general population, we have a core pattern, accessory for all 3 sets. However, on this one, I changed it up just a little bit since we are doing 2 lower body focused days. We're gonna do a core pattern and 2 accessories, okay? So I did the unilateral step up here. So you could do a low step up, a high step up, a lateral step up, a 45-degree step up. You can add dumbbells, you can add a plate, you can add a sandbag. All of those are different variations for your client. Into a banded kickback. So you're putting a band maybe around their knees and doing a kickback, or you're doing a donkey kick or something like that. This is something that our client just told us that she loves, so we're gonna program it in there. All right, so for that second accessory, we're gonna do any ab exercise. Make sure that we switch planes of motion. So we may get into a twisting type of payoff situation. We may do some kind of lateral bending, just making sure that we're not always staying in the sagittal plane of motion with our ab exercises, all right? So for this third set, which I picked to me, the not easiest hinge pattern, but a regressed hinge pattern, hip thrust, floor bridge, RDLs, so Romanian deadlifts, any variation of those depending on where your client is and their fitness level, into an accessory, so single jointed exercise in a leg extension or a leg curl, all right? So we're either working our quads or our hamstrings, into a cardio exercise. So pick any gym equipment that you have available, maybe a rower, maybe an elliptical machine, maybe a treadmill for treadmill sprints. You may want to do jumping jacks. Sometimes they have the ski ergs at the gym. So pick a cardio machine and make it fun for your clients. Don't just say 5 minutes on the elliptical machine. You may want to do a 1-minute sprint followed by a 30-second plank. All right, 1-minute sprint, 30-second plank. You could even do it with your client. If you have a ski erg, maybe do a 1-minute sprint and see if you can compete with your client and make it fun. Don't just throw them on a treadmill. It's going to be super boring. You don't need to make it a freaking circus show, but we do need to have some kind of fun challenge in there so that it keeps them coming back, it keeps them engaged, it keeps them interested, and it makes you look like a great trainer. All right, so part 2 will be our upper body push-pull, which I will include in the next video. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to send me a message abovethebar.fitness on Instagram to get in my class this Wednesday and every Wednesday live class. You can ask questions, you can submit a program, we can review the program. If you're having some kind of problem, we can help you work through it. All right, see you on the next video.